Edgardo Cambon. How you doing? We haven't seen each other in a long time. Welcome back to the Dance Papi channel, in the percussion instruction section. I just want to give a big shout to you because I haven't seen you since August 20th. So when we went into the pandemic, we sort of stopped videotaping, etc. But guess what? We're back, and we're back with a vengeance. Today I'm going to be presenting to you something very different. I don't think there is a lot of videos of this subject online, at least not with percussion and vocals. And the video today is called Toca y Canta. I'm right here at the beautiful jazz school in Berkeley where I teach every Tuesdays. In fact, I taught here yesterday in the same room a class on this subject, to play and to sing at the same time. And that's Toca y Canta. And so I've been elaborating this system to teach people the difficult coordinations of playing a percussion instrument, especially Afro-Cuban percussion, and sing, whether a very simple tune or something a little bit more complicated. The process of developing how to teach that brought me into very different questions before I started setting up this program. So normally we just think, well, somebody who plays and sings at the same time is because he's been doing it since they were a kid and they have this coordination really together, and then they started doing it and they come from Latin America or this or that. And that's probably true, but think about Stevie Wonder singing and playing the keyboards the way he does and singing at the same time and play harmonica. Think about these amazing players of the ragtime where they were doing the bass pedals at the same time as they were playing the piano and singing at the same time. Think about Phil Collins doing a four-member coordination and singing at the same lead vocals. So it takes time, but everybody had their own way to do it on their own system. So I'm going to start by telling you that the plan today is to apply certain simple rhythmic parts with your mouth while you play your basic maraca, guiro, clave, then la tumbadora, and then things may get a little bit more complicated. Two things that I want to say ahead of time. The first thing you need to eradicate from your head, look, I'm going to give you my bald head and then put it back in there. My New York fans, this is for you, is the idea that you can't do it. That's one of the things that immediately people, they said to me, Edgardo, I play a little guiro in a band, but the minute that I need to sing coro, or chorus, or the refrain, I can't do it, something goes wrong, etc. So we need to get into the boat of saying the reason why you can't do it is because you haven't broke it in pieces and you haven't been taught how to simplify one or the other one. So we're going to work on that. The second concept is the concept that I always say to people. I've been playing congas and singing for my band for 36 years. And in every recording that I do, I actually do both, play congas and sing. Not necessarily at the same time, but when I go live, I do it at the same time. And you can see many, many videos on YouTube about that. But this is not a promotion for my band, but something has to go in automatic pilot. Okay, and I want to use that refrain, like in a plane, automatic pilot. Something needs to go in automatic pilot. Usually, your hand percussion is going to have to go in automatic pilot when you do something more syncopated with your mouth. Sometimes, when the difficulty is going to be in what you're doing, singing, then maybe, well, you're not going to be doing a solo on guiro or on maracas in general. Remember, these are gravy percussion instruments. They are instruments to accompany the rest of the band. Super important. There may be a lot more challenging something on congas or timbal because you may be doing breaks, cuts, etc. in the music that at the same time that you're singing. And sometimes those need to be worked specifically in a song. So it ain't easy, but so the first one, don't boycott yourself by saying you can't do it. Second one, understand that something needs to go in automatic pilot. So this video is not for a beginner guiro player or a beginner maraca player. It's for somebody who has the patterns done really well with your hands and in the instruments. So if you don't know how to play guiro, maracas, clave, etc., refer to the other videos on Dance Papi, get really, really strong with that, and then we're gonna take care of the vocals. Now, if you are out of tune or you don't know, what is high or low, you're a very rookie vocalist, you don't sing in tune even in the shower, well, you need to get some classes for that. This is also not a class where I will teach anybody how to sing. There is a lot of teachers out there, and I'm sure in any city you live, one of the things you can get is some good vocal classes, so you learn how to breathe, you learn how to recognize what's high and low, etc. So what's the difference between you, 35, 40 years old, you're trying to teach for the first time and you're having fun, or maybe you're a teenager, and somebody who maybe was brought up in Cuba, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Colombia, and started doing this at a very young age, maybe with the percussion, is that out of the putting something into automatic pilot, something is already there because they've been already doing it. So for them, it's easy to connect the dots with the vocal coordination. Let's get going. We're gonna start first with clapping, one of the first instruments the human body had. So the exercise is gonna be clapping quarter notes, that would be like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, with your mouth, we're gonna choose a syllable. You can choose pa, I like to choose pa. Some other people like to choose ta, ta. Don't choose ca because you end up saying bad words in Spanish. But so the syllable pa, and we're gonna just simply sing downbeats with our mouth at the same time we're clapping, and it's gonna sound like this: pa, 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 pa. You can choose any note you want. Pa, 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 pa. Super easy, pa. If you need to breathe at some point, go ahead, take a breath and don't stop your hands and then come back. Pa, 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 pa. Excellent. Now we're gonna do the same thing, keeping this on, but we're gonna do eighth notes. So now we're gonna have 2 notes over that same beat. So it's gonna sound like you can say pa pa, or you can say what I like to say, which is pata, because the syllable T helped me to differentiate the 2 of them. And I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Pata, 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 breathe. Go back at it. Pata, 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 pata. If you feel like moving already, you can start doing that. So you feel the groove. Pata, 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 pata. Excellent. Notice that I haven't stopped at all. Take a little breather. Get your mouth wet again with a little bit of saliva, or have a little zip of something if you have it. Maybe you have one of those bicycle bottles that goes from there to your mouth directly so you don't stop. Now we're gonna do a triplet, and it's gonna sound like 3 notes over this. This almost sounds like swinging in jazz. 3 notes, right? Patata, 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 per beat. Patata, 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 pat. At any moment that you have a problem with this, you need to do the rule maybe number 4 that I didn't tell you before, which is slow down. Patata, 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 patata. Now we're gonna do 16 notes. We're gonna have 2 strokes on the downbeat, 2 strokes on the up. So if we use the syllables pata, we're gonna say pata 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 pata. Again, breathe in. 3, 4. Pata 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 Excellent. Now we're going to try to go from one to the other one, sort of seamlessly, but you're going to have to breathe at some point. So we're humans, we need to breathe, right? So I'm going to count 4, and we're going to be at the same speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pa, 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 2 bars. Pa, 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 ta, 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 pa, ta. Disclaimer, I put the 16 notes before the triplets. I put the triplets at the end. So I want you to keep an order. Quarter notes, 8 notes, triplets, and then the 16 notes. It's nice to differentiate that triplet right there in the middle. There is no formula to this. Now we're going to introduce something else. Syncopation, very simple syncopation. We're going to do, for instance, upbeats right after 1. So rather than hitting this pa, 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 we're going to hit the upbeat on that. And I'm going to count you so you feel the upbeat. So if you think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you're going to be with your mouth singing only the upbeat, feeling the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 pa, 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 pa. Let's do the same with the, well, that was already the 8 note, right? Because it's the 8 note on the upbeat. So now we're going to put 2 16 notes after the downbeat, and we're going to sing like this. 1 pa da 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 da. Ani 2, ani 3, ani 4, ani 1. Para 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 para. Excellent. Now let's do the upbeats of the triplet. So what it used to be ta 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 ta, is going to be without the downbeat like this. Now we're going to sing the 16 notes on their beats. Notice that you can say with your mouth or the back of your throat, it's going to relate you to the downbeat. We can say so by now you're probably asking, because a few minutes pass from this video, how is this going to put me to sing what Hector Lavoe sang in El Cantante at the same time that I play maracas in that band? Well, if you, well, obviously you have to first know the rhythm very well that you're playing, know the lyrics and the timing of the lyrics. But what this is giving tools to that beginner that thinks that will never be able to sing at the same time because he doesn't have the coordination. So we're trying to create a hand-to-mouth coordination. Let's do the same, roughly, with other instruments. So I'm going to go in order of difficulty. I'm going to choose these smaller maraquitas from Colombia. They're beautiful because they're going to be less intrusive with the vocals, right? So what am I playing here? I'm going to play basically, I'm not going to play 8 notes, I'm going to play more of a complicated pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If you don't know this pattern, refer to the Maraca video on Dance Papi collection, right? So I'm going to go at a tempo that is desirable. Before I was doing this, so I'm pretty much at the same tempo, right? That would be already a good exercise to play the maraca part and sing quarter notes. Pa, 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 pa. Let's go to the 8 notes. Now let's go to the triplets. Now they're doing triplets at the same time you're doing 8 notes with your hands. That's a pretty cool coordination. Then let's go to the 16s. Breathe sometimes. You gotta breathe again, right? These are not exercises to do for 20 minutes. And don't do it on the gym because people are gonna say, can you sing another song other than that one? So we already covered how to do that with the maracas, right? We're gonna get to singing a simple chorus or refrain, and that's gonna be the next layer of the onion. We do this exercise for coordination, and then let's say, I love, no le pegue a la negra, right? La rebelión. Okay, so we're gonna learn that coro with guiro, maracas, clave, and then the tumbadora or conga drum. Let's move on to the guiro. You got the drift. It's pretty much the same thing. I hope this is not too loud for the microphone and the camera. So I'm going to be in the same tempo. I wonder if this is too loud, but I'll try to play softer. So let's use the same principle. Quarter notes. Pa, 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 8 notes. Triplets. Sixteen, 3, 4. Is Latin music so stiff that everything is so square? It's not. What we're trying to connect is to do something with the hands at the same time, so we do something different. And this, in the scope and realm of Latin music, is super simple because it is pretty square to do only the selection that I did. Quarter notes, 8 notes, triplets, and 16 notes for now. Stuff that you can do, you can take the book, what is it called? Syncopation by Ted Reed. Syncopation book, a book of reading, if you read music, and take any of the lines from the beginning or intermediate levels when they're already mixing 16 notes, and if you can read, play guiro, play maracas, play clave, and read the line that is up there. Take it easy, go slow, you can tap your foot at the same time as we're doing it, and then start challenging your mouth part of the coordination by putting this in a lock, this in a lock, and now the focus is in here. But as I said, if this is not solid enough for you not to be able to have to be thinking about it, if you have to be thinking about how you play the guiro, it's very difficult to combine that coordination with something else, at least for now. So let's try this with the clave again. Okay, good. Now, I'm going to stay with this instrument that I have in my hand. And now I'm going to ask you to sing a montuno. What is a montuno? Son montuno, el montuno del piano, the riff that the piano plays. The very basic riffs, like in 2-3 clave. Let's go very slow with that. Downbeat on 1. That was a little variation. Double beat on 1. Stay there. Tom ti tom 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 ting tom 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 ting tom 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 ting tom tom ting tom tom ting tom 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 ting tom 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 ting tom 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 ting ti 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 tom ti tom ting tom ting ting tom 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 ting tom ting tom ting ting. What do you notice if you got so far and you managed to do this, that maybe singing a Montuno or singing a melody that you already know, if you have this solid, again, something went into automatic pilot, it may be even easier to do that than to do a very staccato syncopation. But if you don't, you can try to start here if you want without doing all the rest, but it would be nice to challenge you yourself to do what it was previously exposed. Let's do the same Montuno with the piano, with the Guiro. So here we go. Okay, now before we move on, we're going to go to the tumbadora. And then we're going to go to the tumbadora on one drum, and then to the tumbadora on two drums, trying to do the previous sections of quarter note, 8 notes, triplets, and 16 notes, and then do the Montuno. And then we're going to do a couple of different tricks. I have to move this microphone, so I'll see you in a sec. All right, we're ready with the congas now, and remember that something needs to go in automatic pilot, so you need to know the basic tumbao rhythm on the tumbadora, first on one conga drum, and then on 2 conga drums when we open up to it. So that needs to be already worked out by you previously. So let's get going with, I'm going to count 4, and we're going to start playing regular tumbao, and then we get to the exercise, right, which it was quarter notes, 8 notes, triplets, 16 notes, and then we see if we, and then we try the Montuno, also singing. So here we go, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, right here, right? Marcha or tumbao of son, very basic one. I'm gonna count, and then we're gonna do the quarter notes, right? 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Pa 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 pa. 8 notes. Pa ta 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 pa ta. Triplets. Pa ta pa 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 ta pa ta pa ta pa ta ta pa ta ta pa ta ta pa ta 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 ta. I'm on the 16s now. Again, go back to the top. That's 1 and 3 of each bar. And that's where the bell comes in. It sounds like my friend from Argentina. Para, stop. Montuno. Montuno and 2. two drums, I meant. Boom, 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 ping, boom, 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 ping. Variation. Bum, 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 boom, ping, boom, boom, bum, boom, boom, bum, boom, ping, boom, boom, bum, boom, boom, bum, boom, ping, boom, boom, bum, boom, bum, boom, ping, boom, boom, bum, boom, 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 ping, boom, 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 ping, boom, boom, ping, boom, 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 ping. Okay, you got this far, and you're already saying, Edgardo, that's too simple, it's too easy. Beginner, and I'm already an intermediate. I've been playing for 5 seconds. That's typical, typical student. Immediate, just barely learn the opens and the slaps and tumbao, and you're already not a beginner anymore. But trust me, you're a beginner pretty much all your life. This instrument teaches you 24/7. All you need is to sit on it, even if you play for many, many years. So what I want to do now to challenge you is I'm gonna keep my tumbao on 2 drums, but I'm gonna start the montuno on different places. So I'm gonna start the montuno first on 1, then I'm gonna start the montuno on 2. No, I mean 2 here, 2 on my beat, on my slap instead of on the 1. And let's see what happens if we keep on moving it on quarter notes back in the beat. So here we go. Wish me luck. Tumbao on 2 drums, right? Let's first start where we were. Where am I starting? 1 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 and now on 2. Boom, beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 boom. I'm starting on the slap, right? It makes it sound very, very weird, but it's a very good coordination. Let's see what happens if we start on 3. 1, 2, 3. It's that bass, the one that comes after the slap. We have the front note, then we have the bass on 3. So let's play tumbao and identify that 3. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Boom, beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, boom, beep, boom, boom, beep, boom, boom, beep, boom, beep, boom, right? So what happens with something? Oh my God, I said that I wasn't gonna get political, but what happens with a montuno when you start moving in the downbeat? At first, it feels weird, but eventually you get used to it. And that's what happens in politics too, in one word or another one. So let it happen, keep on playing, feel that beat, because now you have the montuno coming on 3, so it goes like 3 and 4 and boom, beep, boom, 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 beep, boom, 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 beep, boom. It feels very, very weird when you're playing it, but if you play it long enough, you're gonna realize that all of a sudden it starts swinging. And this goes to tell to all those, what I call, our friends, we call each other the clave police, the very strict clave police on the Afro-Cuban percussion, which sometimes they're totally entitled to do that because for X or Y reasons. You make that swing, you put it on the top on an introduction of a song, and all of a sudden everybody goes in the dance floor. Oh, that was weird, but that was fun, and I didn't know where to put my 1, but here I am, and then all of a sudden it came in the lock. So in other words, you can start with a tumbao or the montuno in a weird place in the tumbao, and then move it where it's supposed to be. But in this particular case, is to train your mouth and your brain, and also train yourself of putting this in a real automatic pilot, no matter what you do with your mouth. So now, let's start on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's your 4 and. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 playing in bands for a long, long time, since I was 17 years old. And sometimes there is a break or there is something and somebody moves, because music is not perfect, and music is played by humans, and there's people from many different levels. It can happen to anybody. Something happened, there was a break, or somebody on the timbal, for instance, did an abanico that was different than what they're used to hear, and all of a sudden either the bass or the piano moved, or the tumbadora moved, and you play until the next section, everybody looking at each other and saying, what's going on? That's one of those moments when, for instance, if you end up with a tumbao on the two opens in the one of the Montuno. So, okay, now to close this chapter, I'm just gonna open up a little bit with this. I have a 5A or 5B rock and roll stick in here, a very old LP bell, cha-cha bell, and a jam block right here, and two congas. And what I'm gonna do for you, and this is maybe for the more advanced percussion players, is I'm gonna teach you how I play when I play by myself with two players or three players, or sometimes maybe my timbalero is late or my bongocero is late. Well, if my bongocero is late and I have a timbalero, I have no problem. I tell them to play double bell and I can move on. But if I end up being the only percussionist and there is nobody else who can do that, then I say to maybe my saxophone player, hey, you're a great guiro player, give me some support because I'm gonna have to play the campana when the chorus or refrain comes in. And this is the part that I play. There is many different ways to do this. Some people like to put a whole bunch of assorted bells in their feet, etc. Guess what? This paraphernalia lives in a bag under the seat, the accompanying seat of my car. Somebody's late or doesn't show up, or something happens, because sin campana, no hay son. I mean, you can actually make people dance regardless, but this is a very substantial, energetic element of the salsa or Afro-Cuban music, salsa-based music, son, guaracha, mambo, etc. in 4/4 metric, and it really entices the dancers to move on the dance floor. The pattern that I play, I'm gonna go right into the, when does the bell comes in? The bell comes in the chorus or refrain and los coros, and that's when you go to two drums, right? So in many senses, the bongocero or whoever is playing the campana dictates when the conguero opens. Of course, if you are one person, you choose on the right place and you choose how you're gonna bring this in. So my pattern is gonna start with one on the bell, on the mouth of the bell. I'm gonna come to my drum here. First I'm gonna play it for you so you hear it. So slow. I'm gonna count 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's break that down. Let me make a disclaimer here. These drums belong to the school, and I love these drums. But in my own congas, I have a little piece of taping here that muffle my sound when I hit with this, so it sounds more like a front touch. So right now here I have a lot of reverberance, so it sounds like an open sometimes. Right? 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 So, but find your sound and your swing and how you're going to be doing it. There is nothing wrong with doing it with the 1 and 3 in here with a cowbell, etc. And if you want to do these coordinations are an infinitum. some of the greatest people that I've seen these coordinations doing, and I want to mention there is a lot of them now, younger generation, but one of the ones that impressed me way back there was Mr. Vizcaíno Guillot Sr. in Cuba. I saw him many times, and he gave me a couple of prompts, etc., how to do this in the late 80s, early 90s. He was playing with Gonzalo Rubalcaba and Grupo Proyecto with Horacio El Negro Hernandez in drum set, etc. I don't want to take you too much from topic, but people like Walfredo Reyes Sr. was including a conga in the drum set way before. So this is not, you know, the new thing in the block that the younger kids are doing in Cuba or Puerto Rico, etc. It's been done for a long time, but it's kept on developing, and it's becoming an amazing, fantastic thing. Some people are super coordinated, they play with quartets. And remember that those are the skills that musicians develop to fight against the situations, the economical situations. You need to go and play in a restaurant, you want to make it sound fuller, but you just don't want to play, you know, let's just say, for no offense to anybody, a watered down version of Latin jazz, quiet, unless the job requires that. But if you want to make people dance, then you need to tell somebody, you know, yeah, we're a trio, but we need to beef it up. Somebody needs to pick up this, somebody needs to pick up that. Maybe you just, with a quartet, add in one horn, you already have these multi-coordinations. Now this was called Toca y Canta, right? So let's just bring, for instance, El cuarto de Tula le cogió candela, se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela. Slow. El cuarto de Tula le cogió candela, se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela. Que esto no es cuestión de burla, esto no es cuestión de fuego, que llamen a los bomberos, que la cosa se ha puesto buena. Tula le cogió candela, se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela. Let's say I'm gonna do a piano solo, and I don't want to go completely out. I'm gonna go to the pachanga field. Se me perdió la cartera, ya no tengo más dinero, ya no tengo más dinero. Se me perdió la cartera, y eso que un espiritista me mandó un baño de plantas con gajos de mano santa y gotas de agua bendita. Se me perdió la cartera, ya no tengo más dinero, ya no tengo más dinero. Se me perdió la cartera. Si uno sale de la casa con el piso revirado, lo que va a pasar le pasa, te conozco bacanao. Llorarás, 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 llorarás. Okay, there is 1,001 songs that we could sing. I have 240 songs in my repertoire alone, and there is plenty of videos of doing that. So how can you combine that? Something needs to go into automatic pilot. So you need to know where the clave goes in that coro. Llorarás, 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 llorarás. It goes in the middle of the three sides of the clave. One, llorarás, ding, ding, ding. So when I did this, llorarás, one, that's the two side. Llorarás, oh. Llorarás, llorarás. When I play this with my band, I focus, and I do it only with small trios or quartet. I focus on the drive of the bell. I focus on the drive of the bell and let the conga fill up. My focus is here. I'm thinking not like a bongo player playing bongo martillo and playing the bell, right? My coordination is simple, but it becomes super swinging if I let the train take over. And the train is going to be here in the cintura. My 1 and 3 is my 1 and 3 on my tumbadora with my left hand. So some percussionists come to see me play and they say, man, that swings like crazy, but how come you're putting your slap with the right hand? It's not coming on 2 because I'm doing this 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Once I start playing, I start doing this. 1 and 2. After that, 1 and 2. Here it is, 1 and 2. End of 2. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. Now, purists are gonna say, but isn't that bombo supposed to go in the second stroke of a clave? But you're playing 2-3 clave and you're putting that bombo there. Well, guess what? The last time I checked, the American Constitution didn't say that you have to do anything with this instrument except swing. And you still put in the low drum where it's supposed to go. And so drummers play this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, putting it in both sides. Why is it that a conguero can go 1 and 2? I knew that this was going to wake up some controversy. There is no controversy. This drum, it's incredible. This drum can teach you to do many, many, many things. If you keep on studying and trying things, you can find a lot of great coordinations that you can do. Sometimes I'm in the front playing guiro, playing maracas, and singing at the same time. Sometimes I prefer to have the microphone on my hand and just improvise, do a lot of pregones in the spot, etc. Sometimes I have more duties, especially if I work with a small ensemble. So thank you very much. Please welcome Dance Papi again to the trenches of YouTube. A big shout to all the colleagues that are doing these amazing videos out there and putting all this material out, and a special thanks to the Jazz School in Berkeley, where I teach on Tuesday nights this Toca y Canta class. So this is going to continue. It's the second time that I've done it for like in their packages of 10 classes. We're going to put the information of the school in underneath, and don't forget to check my website musiccandela.com and send me a message, hit the bell, and enjoy the next video and the previous ones. Muchas gracias. It sounds like my friend from Argentina. Stop. Stop.